Hey everyone, this is a quick look at the LEGO Juniors Ninjago set called Zane's Ninja Boat Pursuit. So, first we look at Zane's Ninja Boat itself. I believe this is the first time we've gotten this particular combination in one set of the white short hull with the black insert. Previously you could get those pieces separately in a couple other sets, but I like the combination because it can be used for different things. That is an actual floating hull, and you can load it up with stuff and it'll actually work in a bathtub or a pool or something. It actually has way more buoyancy than it even needs to carry most stuff that you could do with LEGO. It has what a lot of kids will probably see as an anchor on the front of it. You can kind of just pick that up and put it inside if you want, but it's also used to grab onto things. We'll see an example of that a little bit later on. This has one printed piece on it up there at the front, and that's printed across multiple sides of that piece. Very nicely done. Good production work there. Got a couple of kind of flame sword or ice sword, I guess. Blue flame, ice, whatever you want to see it as. Swords along the side just to give it a little extra oomph. These transparent pieces are just for the looks as well, and then there are these long parts that are also just for the looks, but you could use them as giant swords if you want to. Zane is able to pilot the boat from the front. He has just a little space here at the front where he could potentially put something like a little piece of important cargo that he might be able to hold on. There's plenty of space behind him, plenty of space in this boat in general to do whatever you want with, because they didn't put much detail in it, but it does have a golden wheel there. A little bit old school with the design for a speedboat, but it can be spun around, and it's really easy to put a figure at it because you just stand up. You can also make them sit down if you want. Here's the other main build, which is referenced as a bit of a temple. They're trying to make it look like it has a lot of wooden construction, especially around the base. It is junior, so it uses a minimum number of pieces, and this all goes together very quickly. It does only use prints, once again, no stickers, so even this large ramp piece over here with the nice looking wooden planks is all just one single large print. And then you also have those two 2x4 prints of the tiles on the sides there with the lotus blossom in the center, and you also have the map. That is your precious cargo that you're going to be fighting for, so that's just a separate thing that can just be lifted up, but that's another really nice looking print there. And it just goes really well with the theme. And you have a couple of basic action features here on the sides with these spinning blades that can be used as obstacles for going past, and then a couple of spinning snakes over there, or at least snake heads. You can see that as real or mystical if you want, entirely up to you. But of course there's just the main front entrance as well with some torches, and they match the torches at the back, and that's just that. There's really nothing else to see here. There's nothing else to do here. It just really creates the setting and gives you just a little bit of stuff to actually play with, while also providing the backdrop for your play. I also made it easy for you to just pull all of this off. It only uses 4 studs of the possible 8, so it's extra easy to pull it off and put it someplace else if you want. The bad guys of this season are styled as a motorcycle gang, so the bad guy in this set gets a motorcycle. It's the black version of the kind of classic cruiser style of fairing over the pretty standard LEGO motorcycle chassis with the motocross style kind of off-road tires. It has kind of a silly horn on the front, or large barb. I don't know about that piece. That's just weird looking to me. Of course you can just leave it off if you want. And it also has on the back of it a little bar piece, and the idea with that is that is the place where Zane, from his boat by the side of the I don't know, river or some sort of water passageway, would be able to toss his hook on the chain out from his boat and then hook onto the back of this, so then your biker gang member would not be able to get away. Now this does not have any kickstand, so it is a little bit difficult to get it to balance. You can get it to balance, but I wish it came with some kickstands, just some little cheater pieces to make it a lot easier for younger kids. But the idea here is that he would be over on, see, you have to get it just right, especially if you don't have a surface that's perfectly flat. But he would be over here on the dock or on the road next to the water, and then Zane would be chasing him down and keeping him from getting away, presumably getting away with the map piece, although I don't recommend putting the map piece into the bad guy's hands because then he will always fall over. He just won't be able to balance. Of course, if all goes well, then Zane will be able to capture the map, and then he has this very convenient place to set it up where he can look at it while he's driving. Here's a closer look at that Zane figure itself, which I think gives this set some actual collectability value. This is a good figure to get if you are following the series long term, or even if you have just started out. And the whole set isn't too expensive, so to get one of the main characters is of course good. It's kind of mandatory though. There's Zane's face, and it's his only face on this head. He does not have a second one around the back because this head shows detail of the back of his head back there instead. I think that's pretty cool, and it gives you the reminder that he is a robot, and kids can use that port to kind of imagine plugging him in to do an upgrade or to scrub out a virus or to download some major information or something. But I think it's a pretty cool looking head, and I actually don't mind the fact that it doesn't have the second face that you usually expect. The print on the top of the hip piece is just a little bit off on its right side though. The bad guy here is Chopper Maroon, and he has one of the more artful and, to me, interesting torso prints of this entire series for this year. Looking pretty good with the whole getup. I think everything kind of works together. He has the red katana there. We'll take his helmet off so you can see the detail of the face. Another single face head though. I do feel like that is a missed opportunity because this guy could definitely use an alternate expression, maybe something a bit more serious, maybe something with the mouth open. But here on the front with everything exposed, you can see the stars across his forehead. He's got that kind of skull style face paint that's applied. It is a little bit thin there. It's supposed to be completely white. It doesn't look all that bad in this particular case because it just kind of looks like it's smeared onto him, but it's supposed to be bright white. But here also with the extra little shoulder armor piece removed, you see more of the cool print on the top of the torso. Lastly, here are just a couple of what they call fire bombs. They're really intended to be like mines. So those could either be dropped by Zane behind the boat, and there's, like I showed before, plenty of room in the boat to hold on to them, or they could be dropped by Chopper Maroon, kind of thrown out into the water to try to slow Zane's progress. Do note that these don't actually float very well though. They kind of can a little bit for a little while, but then they'll eventually sink. It's almost pointless to look at the price to part ratio of a juniors set because they use so many large pieces, and this one here in particular has the boat, which is considered one piece, just the whole hull, the black and the white parts together. That's all considered one piece. The whole base here, the whole medium nougat colored base of the temple is one single piece. So price to part ratio is not really something to look at here. But when I look at the volume of stuff that you get, which is what I consider most when it comes to value, it's okay. It's not great for the price that you pay. In my opinion, the figures are pretty good. It's nice to get a boat that will actually float, and I like that combination of colors because, like I said, they're just kind of generic. I like the prints of the tiles, the 3 tile pieces in particular. Beyond that, I don't know. I feel like there's not all that much play value here. Motorcycle is good to get. Boat is good to get, although it doesn't look that great. I feel like even with the junior style and minimum number of pieces, it could have looked more cool in some way. Yeah, just overall, it's not a fantastic set to me, but it's okay. Just my thoughts though. Thank you for watching. Hope that you've enjoyed the video, whether you agree with my opinions or not. And I'm going to continue working to bring you more videos very soon, so I'll catch you later.